some way, transform you in some way, that give you that moment of clarity. And you may say, okay, I got to go home to my significant other and say something. This just really hit me. So at any given moment, that's happening to us. We're growing. That's part of one of our human needs, is to grow. Let's check this real quick. Okay. So with this, that was the deal about the list of having what you want in a relationship and what you don't want, and that deal breaker. So these are things you have to figure out for yourself. But that's where a coach can often help. They will help you. They'll hold the space for you. They'll give you the techniques. They'll give you some. As a matter of fact, I'll put my hand up. That's part of what I hope I can do for some of you here at this festival, to give you a little clarity session. It's only about 30 minutes. So anybody that would like to have a clarity session while we're here at the festival, does everybody have a cell phone? Okay, if you have a cell phone, you can send me a message right now that says yes, and then I can text you back and we'll work out a time. And my number is 021 169 3609. Yep, I'll say that again. It's 021 169 3609. And that's the neat thing about having this talk as early as we have in the festival, is we'll find some time throughout the next couple of days to maybe get together and just have a clarity session. If not, we can either do it by phone or Zoom or something like that later on. Because clarity really is the key to having some authenticity in your life. Yes?
No, I'd like to say my opinion.
Yes?
Most of the stuff you say is not what, right?
Okay. Yes?
I agree. Humans should be like monkeys. They love each other, whoever they are, whatever they are. They have to have chemistry between them. If it doesn't work, it's bullshit all that. Sorry, you're not saying the right thing for certain people. My opinion is, you can essentially find the right person. That was my life, okay?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And did it work out all right for you?
It worked.
It's worked out. So you're in a relationship now? Sort of. Okay. And is it a relationship that is fulfilling for you? Is it magnifying your life experience?
I think so. I'm a little bit different, so it took me a lot of trouble to find that. But that's what should be. It shouldn't be, oh, I think the person is not right. Oh, well, let me now, I'll be quiet, I will not talk. Or let me fix my financial. That doesn't work. If it doesn't work, just find the right person. There's always somebody matches somebody. When you see the monkey in the forest in India, they all, oh, this one doesn't have enough coconut, I will not go with it. They love each other for the way they are, not because you need to satisfy your own needs or stuff like that.
Okay. Well, there you go. There is another perspective on relationship. Does anybody else have anything similar? Or say even contrary? Or that's what you're in a great space here to share anything, and that is part of being authentic. Now, if I'm going to get a name.
Can I say something, brother?
Please do.
What I find is that's what's happening in this society. You're jumping from person to person to person. That's the problem. And what we actually need to do, I think, this is me personally, is go deeper. I don't want to keep jumping. I want to find a woman I can love and go so deep. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
26 years.
Wow.
I wouldn't swap 1,000 relationships for this one relationship with one woman for 26 years.
Beautiful, brother. Well, for you. Congratulations. Blessings. That's it. Well, I'm sure you guys would have a lot of wisdom to share with us about what's worked in your relationship. Of what I've got to share today, has there been any standouts for you that go, hey, that worked for us, or no, that didn't work for us. That idea or that concept didn't work for us. Anything? Any takeaways?
6 human needs, spot on.
Yes?
All parts of life, and the biggest piece is the full cup. This guy is also a serial Mr. Nice Guy, and after 25 years he took off on his own to America and he took himself away to go so deep on his own, and I let him go with my full heart, and I didn't know if he was ever going to come back. So I stayed at home with the kids and just let his soul fly.
Beautiful.
And he came back and threw me against a wall.
Beautiful.
Full man, a man fulfilled in his soul, and for us to work through the karmic kind of stuff and to agree to work through that in this lifetime together
Beautiful.
has been incredible. So really honouring your work and your sharing as a beautiful scaffolding and a framework to work with the parts of ourselves we know and the parts we don't know. So
Beautiful, beautiful. Lovely share. Thank you for that. I don't know if everybody got to hear that, but for the most part, she was able to allow her partner to go fill his needs, find his higher version. She supported that. She didn't say, oh no, you can't go because I don't want to be alone or I want to be, no. She supported that. You don't have to be codependent on each other. But what you do need to do is support your partner. You need to support them while they do the work. You know, babe, I see ladies go to the toilet all the time too. Somebody's holding the door, I guess. I don't know. Or what was I saw one the other day? Why ladies? But you do. We're humans. We need that support, and it's wonderful when you have that in a relationship, because that's going to be the ups and downs. You know, you're going to have those moments and that's going to provide you with certainty. You know, you're going to fill those human needs by supporting each other while each person is doing their thing, finding their human needs that they're needing to fulfill. You're holding that space for them. That's a beautiful, beautiful share. Anything that you'd say is absolute bullshit that I've shared today? Nothing? Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I can learn. I mean, I'm happy to take anything. I love the idea of the monkeys, you know, that's cool.
Different story. That's a different version, but there's somewhere in the middle where you try to stick with something, you know, like for me, 18 years. But when someone's not willing to grow or deal with their trauma, you know, I'm not putting all the blame on someone, but when you have these situations, and there's so much at stake, it's a very hard place.
It's a very hard place, but I hear you.
So that's where you get in that sort of stuff.
Quite often, yeah.
It's a real tricky space. You maintain that road and whatnot, but sometimes people don't want to deal with it.
And yeah, by all means, feel free. We can have a clarity session if you want. I mean, now don't think that a clarity session is going to give you the be all end all. That's just helps start the wheels turning with what it is, where you are, where you want to be. It just starts the wheels of getting clarity. You know, it's like if you go to, does anybody use a GPS anymore? I use Google Maps anyhow. You've got to have some sort of idea of what direction you're going, or else this device is, you don't know. So you've got to get that clarity. You can say, well, I'm just going to drive and see what happens. Or you can get into a relationship, I'm just going to see what happens. With no intention. That's why it's so important to have intention with everything you do. And always ask yourself, is this intention coming from a place of love or fear? Where am I operating from? What's going on inside me right now? Any other thoughts for the day? Please share. Here we go.
Always thought that the key to having a happy relationship is to find the right person to start with. How true do you think that is?
Okay, he always thought that the key to having the right
halfway between these two.
The right relationship was to find the right person to start with. Okay, all right. And how true is that? Well, that's a tricky one, isn't it? That's a $65 million question. You know, who is the right person? First of all, you've got to find the right person within. Who are you? Who do you have to be? You know, I talked. Maybe I lost something here, did I? Woo! Could be battery time, huh?
Can I share something quickly?
Please share, yes.
Something that somebody said to me is there's different levels of relationship where sometimes you're happy to be in this kind of the trading, where the woman, I'm generalizing here, but the woman's been the housewife, 50-50 where we're both woman's going to be working out in business, and the man's going to be doing the same. And the man's going to be in his flow and love, and the woman's going to be that. And then there's the next stage where you're going to be 100%, which is what you're talking about, 100% me, all my love and all my masculine, and my woman's going to be this powerful woman as well, and in her love. And so somebody explained to me that, you know, it ties in with what you're saying. If you're not with somebody who's willing to go to that place where you can be all of you, then it's a tricky one. And so that's, yeah.
Beautifully said, brother. Beautiful. Thank you. That right person, it's going to start with you. Finding that right person. Because I do believe that, you know, the target seeks the arrow type of thing. I think when you are clear in yourself and you're being your best version, and you do learn these skills, these things to be your best self. Finding the right person may not be so much a finding as much as it is allowing. Because we tend to attract quite often what we need to work on within ourselves sometimes. And if we've done a lot of that work, we can attract something that's going to enhance this experience. So part of finding the right person, you're going to have a definition of what's right for you. Because you know, there might be another person that thinks, well, that's not necessarily right for me. So that's part of the right person is going to be the right person for you based upon where you are, who you are, the clarity that you have about yourself, being in environments. Because I helped a young man who was really struggling with relationship. He kept finding himself in these quite toxic relationships. And I said, where are you going to? And he goes, oh, well, we're going to these. And I thought, well, there you go. You know, they were drug-infested situations. And he couldn't figure out why he ended up with these girls that were just so dependent on drugs and party and all this stuff, because he wanted a committed relationship. And the girls that he was attracting was because of the environment that he was in, you know. So one of the things we did is made him aware of that, and he goes, "Oh, okay, yeah, I never thought about that." I said, "Well, where would the type of girl that you would like to meet? Where would you find her at?" He goes, "Oh," he said, "probably like a festival, like Resolution Festival. You know, it's more wholesome." And so, needless to say, he found his lovely, and I think they're working through things now. But, you know, people that are in a growth environment, because that's what he was wanting about. He wanted to be his better version. So you find someone who's also wants to be a better version, wants to support you while you're being your better version, so you can support them while they're being their better version. So it's environment, proximity. Proximity is a key to finding the right one. You know, whether if you're going to the bars on a regular basis, you're going to find a whole different type of person in a bar than say you will at a yoga retreat. Different kind of people. You know, they might overlap to some degree, but do you understand what I'm saying? So you need to get clarity about what that right person looks like, what they behave like, what motivates them. As this gentleman said, some common goals. You know, are you guys? Is this making sense? About what the right person is? You got to be in the right place for them, you know.
It's the balance between working on something and moving on because you realize that actually this is probably not going to work.
Okay, so working on something,
Right.
I don't know if everybody's hearing that. I'm going to try to repeat. Working on something or moving on because it's become too hard. Is that what you said?
Something like that, yeah.
Yep. Okay, and that's the part where it comes back to the individual. I mean, I can kind of throw out some general information here for you guys, but individually, each person is going to be on a different path, a different trek on their path, or a different lane, if you will. So we have to have a conversation, you know, one-on-one kind of conversation to find out where you are on that journey, and then help you to find clarity within yourself so that when you do have the opportunity to interact and relate to another, that you're being your most authentic self, and that person can see that as well. If you're being inauthentic, you can only be that way for so long until it'll start breaking down, and you're like, this is too hard, and you're exhausted. And that's a good way to know that if the relationship you're in is exhausting you, and you haven't done a lot of that work within to build up your own needs and you're still feeling exhausted, what of the human needs are you trying to fill with this relationship? Are you acting from a place of fear or love? Just keep rolling past these things. These are tools and techniques that you can use on a regular basis to stay authentic with yourself. I think we're about towards the end of this, but I want to open the floor up. Yes.
Yes, sorry, just one. What would your view be on, like, say, like a polyamorous type? So there's more than one person. That
The view in polyamorous
connection.
relationships and connections. I have no. Somebody said the best. Did you hear that?
Great question.
Oh, great question. My view is I was coaching a lady who I was talking about the pain and pleasure thing, and she goes on and she says that doesn't apply to me. She says because I like pain. I like needles and I like cuts and they do this threading thing I wasn't familiar with, but they put a whole bunch of needles in. Well, I said, well, then that really is not your pain. That's your pleasure. So that's a different, each person is going to have in themselves what they're going to deem as right, wrong, pleasurable, not pleasurable. And as far as polyamorous goes, I think it's going to be an individual thing again. And you're going to have to know, is the person that you're with, are they open to that? Because if you go into a relationship ever expecting that other person to change, you are setting yourself up for some real difficulties. If you go into relationships, like I said, if you have those 10 things and they have that one deal breaker, oh, but I can change that. I had a comedian friend of mine say, he says the whole marriage thing is wrong. He says, because when the bride comes in, she sees the aisle, she sees the altar, and then she sees him. I'll alter him. I'll alter him. And quite often, gentlemen, this is no disrespect to the gentlemen. Quite often, though, the women are much more in tune with themselves. The men. I'm probably more in touch with my feminine side than I've ever been. But women do tend to be a lot more intuitive, and they do tend to have a more self-awareness. So quite often, they do want to help the guy. I've watched so many relationships where these females have been in a relationship where they're constantly trying to save the guy, trying to help him to get out of his spiral. Much to their, they lose their self-esteem. It kind of goes backwards. I mean, if you have the resources, I'm not saying, don't bail on anybody. If you have the resources to help and serve, do that from that awareness, not because you want to change that person. Because as soon as you start wanting to change somebody, you're getting into some sticky territory there. The only person that you can truly change is yourself. And you do that through choice, and you do that for being aware of your own personal needs, filling your own needs, not expecting somebody else to fill them, understanding why you're taking the action that you're taking. Is it, out of fear? Is it out of love? Is it to avoid pain and gain pleasure? So any of those type of things. I want to explore the polyamorous thing one more time for me. Why is that a question that you want my view on that?
Just out of interest,
Yeah.
I believe that it's totally possible to be connected to more than one person.
Yep, totally possible to be connected to more than one person, she's saying, yes?
Yeah, true story.
True story?
It's difficult if you have a partner that's not, he is open, by the way,
Yep.
And understanding and all of the things, but not everyone is, and I just...
Not everyone is
not a
open to that.
conflict that comes along with that creature.
Quite often there's a lot of conflict that comes along with that creature. I'm just kind of reiterating what the lady is saying to me. Yeah.
She also all the expectation on one person to fulfill all your needs.
All the expectations on one person to fill all your needs is
that possible?
Is that possible?
Having more than one person to fulfill all those.
Okay, look, I'm going to have, based upon what I said today, because this gentleman said, is it even possible or realistic to think that one person can fill all of your needs? Is that, am I?
Needs of your relationship.
The needs of your relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. based upon anything I've shared today or any other wisdom, please share what would be your take on that?
For your own needs.
Fill your own needs.
I feel like you've already, like from the beginning, answered all the questions.
Answered all those?
I'm aware of that, yourself first,
Yep.
and that makes absolute sense.
And when you get to stand in your power, you don't have to get anybody else's approval for a lifestyle that you choose or routines or whatever that you choose. If you're being, and you will, by, I think it's kind of like law of attraction, by being true to yourself, more times than not, you will repel the people that aren't going to be in alignment with you, in vibration with you. And you will be able to create an attraction for people that are in vibration with you. And if you can do that through your 4 agreements, and not taking anything personally, not judging others, somebody else might not get it. And on your list, is that a deal breaker? Hey, I need a polyamorous relationship. But even over time, that could change. That's you could change. Something could change. So, I mean, it was a deal breaker at this point in your life, but who knows down the line? So that's why you have to keep having these conversations with yourself. And communication is key to any authentic relationship, but that first communication needs to be happening with yourself on a semi-regular basis. And what a perfect time then at the beginning of a new year to have these conversations with yourself. Hey, we're going into 2023 now. Is a relationship important to you? And I'm not talking just romantic relationship, but that's usually what this often turns into. I'm talking relationship with your family, relationship with your siblings, relationship with your children. Relationship, are you showing up as your best version every day? And are you filling your own needs? And then the people that you love and care about, are you supporting them to fill their own needs? Do you realize when they're putting it on you to fill their needs? And can you reframe that and say, okay, hold on, I get what they're doing. They're trying to fill a need and they're putting that on me. So at that point, you can, and as through coaching, I give people techniques and reframes, and we call it love requests. One of the things you can do if you want something from a significant other, rather than saying, you never do this, you never do that, you never open the door for me, you never make dinner. Reframe that. I love it when you open the door for me. I just absolutely love it when you make dinner. I love the way you make the casserole or whatever. When you reframe that kind of speaking to somebody, more times than not, it actually encourages them to do it. I got a chuckle there. What? Nothing totally unrelated?
I whispered in her ear that I love it when she does the dishes.
You love it when she does the dishes. Because she loves to cook, so she creates a lot of mess. Oh, you were she. There you go. I mean, it can work. And anytime there's laughter and joy in a relationship, you got something going on. It's a beautiful thing. Yes, sir.
I might need to get the number again. I just
Oh, 0, my number again.
texted somebody yes, and they said, okay.
I don't know if you heard that. He said, he texted somebody yes, and they said, okay. She's like, who was it? So it's 021 169 3609. All right. So basically what that was about, I'll just remind you guys, and then we'll wrap it up for you. That was just, if you'd like to try to catch up here at the festival, we can do a quick 30-minute clarity session just to help you kind of get the wheels turning for the new year, get some clarity about where you're at and where you want to be, kind of bridging the gap in relationship. So yeah, or if it doesn't work out this time, then we can exchange emails or something, and we can try to work out something after the festival.
Do you just see a person singly or couples?
No, either or. More times than not, it's best for the first few sessions to be one-on-one, because too often, sometimes when you get both of them in at the same time and they still got some hurt going on, at least one person needs to have some clarity in the situation.
Right.
I saw this thing the other day. It was, I don't know if it was a meme or what it was, but it says, all relationships are psychological. Don't try to guess who's psycho and who's logical. So it's really good to have that one-on-one for a couple sessions, just to get the clarity within yourself before you bring in a couples thing. Because sometimes that's enough. Sometimes once you give the person the resources as to how to relate, because that's really what we're doing, we're relating to another. So once we get those old individual resources, then that will really help us to, sometimes that changes the relationship just in itself. Because you've kind of defused or de-escalated something, because now you go, they're trying to fill this need for significance. So basically then you put the question on them, well, when do you feel most significant? Oh, I feel most significant when I'm building something. Well, then you encourage them to build more. You know what I'm saying? It's that type. I mean, I've really oversimplified that, but that's the idea. Some of those type of things. So if they're trying to get a need filled through the relationship, and you can figure it out, they want to feel, they feel very uncertain right here. Let's find out, when do you normally feel certain? Oh, it's when I'm dancing. Man, I always feel certain when I'm dancing. Great, let's turn on some music. Let them become resourceful within themselves. So you're not trying to give them that certainty. You're only supporting them to feel that certainty. Is that making sense? So quite often that will happen with the love coaching. Any other thoughts or questions before I go? Yes.
So, hi, I'm your twin, Molly.
Hi, twin Molly.
I have a story. So, I just have curiosity like the odds of, say, if you were born with attachment wounding, like abandonment, versus someone who has a more secure attachment background. Do you think the odds are stronger for that, or for people that empathize from like similar trauma backgrounds?
Okay, so if I understood that right, and I'll try to do my best to summarize this, is it best, you say, if two people kind of have the same traumas?
Well, no, what are the odds?
What are the odds?
Relationship working.
Relationship working.
A more secure
If you have one that's more secure.
like
Attachment, yep.
or someone that's stronger attachment. So if you need to be in a relationship,
Yep.
if you have a role model, or do you think the odds are better for someone who can empathize with your particular triggers?
Somebody can empathize with your particular triggers. That's kind of a tricky one too, and I'm a horrible gambler. So when you ask me about odds, I immediately go, oh geez, I always screw up the odds. It's one of those things, I think, that it can't be overgeneralized. I think it might be something each individual has to kind of find out where they're at with that. And I think it would be too hard to say the odds are good in this situation, or the odds are not good, because it's too hard to know. Individuals are so unique. I mean, standing right here where I am, every one of you can see me, but there's different perspectives. And if you go away from here, you're going to take away something else. You're going to ask somebody, what did you think about that? How did he look to you? What did that sound like? Whatever. It is so different. And it's just like looking at your finger. If all you ever see is that this side, as far as I know, my finger only has a fingerprint. It doesn't have a nail, because that's all I can see. But the more you look at something, the same thing with people, relationships, you just really constantly need to be observing that and being aware of it, being mindful of that. So I can't give you a definitive odds are good or odds are bad, honestly. That would be beyond my ability. So sorry I couldn't answer that any more clear for you.
I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. You let me know, because I'd be kind of keen to find out what the odds become. Anybody want to place any bets? Yes.
Could you briefly repeat the 6 human needs?
The 6 human needs. The first one is certainty. Well, yep. Okay, certainty, and then the flip side of that is uncertainty or variety. Okay, so we want variety in life. We want that. So that's what uncertainty gives us, that variety. The third one is significance. You need to feel significant. Connection. We don't want to be so significant that we can't have connection. And then the 5th and 6th, we spend most of our time in the 4. And the 5th and 6th is growth. So you need that personal growth, and then contribution. At some point, you need to feel like you can give, that what you have is worthy to share and to give. All right. Now, I'll repeat that number one more time. If anybody wants a clarity session, or if they have any, or if they actually want to know more about what coaching is, it's 021-169-3609. And if I've done an audio today, So I'm going to do my best, because the video, you're getting a crotch shot because I forgot my tripod. So the whole time, all you see is this, you know, with a voice. So I don't think you're going to want the video, but the audio might be okay. It might be usable for you. So if you'll send me a text with your email address, then I can put together some audio and zap that to you.